Guests are the good cop, bad cop of I'd Do Anything. It's Lord Andrew Lloyd Webber and Dame John Barrowman. Long overdue, that title. Surely. And while I've got you here, consider yourself. At home.
Please.
Consider yourself.
You're not.
What a family.
Listen, you desperately want to be a Nancy, but you're not one, so shut up.
Come on, Andrew, let me be Oliver.
Do you want to be Oliver?
I think he's more the Dodger.
Can I give him Nancy lessons? I'll give you a couple of Nancy lessons, okay?
What, just like you did to me?
On a desert island.
If you need me, I'll be locked in my dressing room, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. It's the Lord and the Dame from I'd Do Anything. How lovely to have me here. And, as always, and Lord Andrew Lloyd Webber, ladies and gentlemen.
Consider yourself at home. We don't want to have no fuss. For after some consideration, we can say, consider yourself. Consider yourself. Come along.
A show tune. A show tune. It's great to have you back together. Now, last time you guys were on the show, I should remind people, the first time that I had John and Lord Webb on the show together, we had Janice Dickinson on the show as well. And she, well, not only was she quite a character, but also she genuinely thought you two were a couple.
Yes.
That's not surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's a chemistry.
I do have a ring for Andrew, but it won't fit on his finger.
It's called a Prince Albert.
I can see why you two get along. But
do you know what he does to me before the show?
I don't think we want to know, do we?
Before we go live on air...
It makes you cry, doesn't it?
It winds me up, and I mean, I can't, you know... I'm supposed to be there sort of sitting there as the Lord and all this rubbish. You know, and then I'm looking at these faces. I mean,
I bring tears to his eyes.
But that's a nice thing, because it's a difficult job that you find yourself doing, because there are people's careers at stake, and it's a big thing for the young women involved in this. And I'm sure the responsibility sits pretty heavily on you at times.
No, it does. I mean, the sing-off is, I mean, frankly, very difficult, because certainly at this stage in the competition, these are very, very talented young kids.
Well, there are three left in it now. It's the final tomorrow night. I'm very excited about it. But any one of these three could do it, couldn't they?
Any one of these three could be Nancy. I mean, the great thing about tomorrow night is we are out of control. The audience votes, and it's whoever the audience favorite is. I mean, before I go any further, really, everybody, I get a lot of people coming up to me and saying, oh, I really like, I like Jessie, or I like Jodie, or I like Samantha, and I say, do you vote? And they go, well, no. But then they complain when their one didn't get through, and the point is you have to vote. It's the audience's decision. We just sit back tomorrow and give some comments, but it's the audience. They'll decide. Because,
I mean, certainly up until now, though, it wasn't always the case, because there would be the sing-off and you had the final say, and that must have been pretty tough for you.
I mean, the worst was last Saturday. Last Sunday, on Saturday, Rachel gave one of the best performances we've ever had, and I worked with her on that performance. And yet, once again, she was in the bottom two, and I had that awful moment where you think, I've saved this girl 3 times now. If I save her again, she's going to go next week. I just know it. Yeah. And what do you do?
Now, here's the thing. You know what? You obviously believe, you see the talent there. Some of you like more than others, of course. I know you are very heavily involved. You kind of get quite emotionally involved, it seems to me. And what I like about seeing you on TV, and it's quite rare you see this, normally, people who are on TV a lot, we know when the camera's on them. And you compose yourself, and you look the way. The emotion shines through. I mean, seriously, I know you see that. No, seriously, he's there. And sometimes they're not singing so well, and everyone else is going, and he's going, oh, Jesus. And other times, and he goes, I've seen you once, just go, what the? And you look up at him normally, and you go, did you hear that? Did you hear that? And you're sitting there going...
The horror now is that when I go to one of these sort of award ceremonies, or these boring dinners, or one of these things, and they've got a telly on me, but they always look at me, and so I'm listening to these artists who I've got nothing to do with, and I'm having to go... Yeah.
Now, what happened the week that you didn't agree with the final two being who were in the sing-off at the end, and you walked off?
Well, it's a very difficult situation at the end of the show, and I genuinely thought that neither of them should have been there, and I just felt, it was, well, it was, I was tired.
But I admired that in you. I thought, and that's what makes the show so gripping. You've seen that. I'm going to show you that clip with your
But it's also called...
Go on then, show Lloyd Webber having a strop. Let's go, come on.
Lord Andrew
reacted.
having a strop.
Andrew, You must now decide. Neve or Keisha? Who will you save?
First, I'm going to say this is a complete and utter travesty. Neither of you should be in the bottom two. It's completely wrong, and I've been put into a situation that I never wanted to be. And do you know what? For the first time on any television show, I'm angry. I am angry. But I'm going to have to go, I think, now with the majority of my panel, and I'm going to save Neve.
Get out of it, get out. He was off.
The thing was, now, go into the whole thing, because it was Neve and Keisha, and Andrew obviously we got it wrong. He saved Neve. But just to say something in technical terms, hearing that last note, Keisha's got a wonderful voice, but she could never have sung that song 8 shows a week. She was straining to hit the high note. There you go.
And that's difficult, you know, because voices mature at a different time. So you can get a young girl whose voice is completely ready and absolutely there to go.
Yeah.
And you can get one of the same age who, a bit like a racehorse, you keep it for another couple of years. And that's the only way I can... You wouldn't race the horse immediately.
No, you have to train it.
So some of those Nancy's aren't ready for you to ride just yet, is that what you're saying?
I've never been a very experienced jockey. Do you know, the trouble, Jonathan, is I get vertigo if I stand up, so I'm definitely on a horse. I mean, it's not a good idea.
No way.
Or
Okay.
Nancy.
All right, you know, I didn't realise. Now, Cameron McIntosh is the person who will actually be putting this musical on.
He is our man,
It's
yes.
not you. I never knew you guys got along. I thought you guys were bitter rivals. I thought you were like Batman and the Joker, or Spider-Man. But it seems to me on screen that you get along just fine. Am I right?
Well, we did do 2 shows together which weren't desperately unsuccessful.
Now, which shows
the
were these?
Phantom of the Opera and Cats.
I've heard of both of those.
Yes.
Okay, so
You don't like Cats, I know that.
I don't mind it. It's just too long. You know that.
It's
anyway,
not too long. It's not on.
You could take a couple of...
I'm not fond of pussy
when
either.
When
I gave you that
You did, thank you.
Who is the best at putting on musicals, you or Cameron? Who knows the most?
I'm staying out of this one, because I got to work for both of them at some point.
One of you knows more than
It
the other.
depends which side of the century you want to be on.
Okay. Oh. So he can do oldies, you do the new cutting edge
I'm not
stuff.
saying anything. I don't do cutting
Well, there's
edge.
also
The Sound of Music is hardly cutting edge.
But there are also 2 different... I mean, Andrew is also a composer. Andrew writes his own stuff. Cameron doesn't write his own stuff. Cameron finds composers, and what he does is he nurtures a lot of new composers.
Let me tell you something.
Yes.
Cameron has been responsible for putting together 3 of the greatest musicals of all time.
That's right.
And he's a good lad.
Which were the 3? Sound of Musicals,
No,
Oliver,
no,
Prince of Darkness,
Cats.
no.
Cats,
Les Miserables,
Les Miserables,
and Phantom.
and the Phantom of the Opera.
Yes.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
But how many have you produced? How many of the successful shows have you co-produced or produced? If he's done 3, how many have you?
Well, I co-produced, obviously, Cats and Phantom.
That's 2, and then
That's 2, and
Stardust.
I've done The Sound of Music and a
Evita,
few others. And
or a
no,
lot
Evita,
more.
that was before, you know, I didn't produce that.
Yeah, but a lot more than Cameron.
Well, no, he has done major
quite-
successes, like The Witches of Eastwick. And
Yeah.
You've had more. Have you had more or less? I mean, if we had to just...
I don't know.
Just for the sake of argument, if we had to tot them up, if I had to put my money on one being better than the other one, which one would I go with?
I tell you what I would do. I would think very carefully, and then I would save John.
The only sane answer. Who's going to be, when the show begins in the West End, who's going to be Fagin? Who do you have cast as Fagin? Who's going to be Bill Sykes? Who are the other roles?
Well, I
Do you
don't know
have
if we
those
should
cast-
mention the other characters, but I know Fagin is going to be
It's Rowan
Rowan
Atkinson.
Atkinson.
Well, that's an inspired piece of casting.
The
Rowan
other...
has always wanted to play that role, ever since I first known him.
Really?
And he played it at his son's school only a couple of years ago.
But the
Truthfully.
Bill Sykes is somebody who I know television audiences will know.
I bet I can guess.
Go on.
Ross Kemp.
No.
What is a good choice for Bill Sykes? Ross Kemp would be a good one. Okay, can I have another guess?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have 3 guesses, and if you don't get it in the 3rd, that's it.
Gordon Ramsay. Not Gordon Ramsay?
Good idea.
Okay. All right, one more guess. Can I have one more guess?
1 more.
Nigella Lawson.
She'd be a hot Bill Sykes.
Out of left field there. Just
Yeah.
a different thing. A lesbian Bill Sykes. Bill Dykes. Come on. Whole new audience. Bull Dykes. Okay. Now, let's move on from Nancy briefly. We might come back to it. Two things I want to discuss briefly. First of all, congratulations to Lord Andrew Lloyd Webber. You wouldn't think it to look at him, but he turned 60 recently, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Happy birthday and congratulations. Now, did you celebrate your birthday? Did you make a big deal? Did you have a big party, or did you let it go fairly quietly?
I didn't have a big party. I had a huge one when I was 50, and I thought, I'm not going to do it
Big
again.
one. Just a small party, just close, intimate friends and working colleagues, no doubt, who you
I
are
wasn't
close-
invited.
What? How does that happen?
It really was friends and family, just very,
So,
very
hold on,
close.
you didn't invite him? Friends and family?
He wasn't available.
He wasn't available. Did you buy the Lord anything? What did you buy the man who has everything? Did you buy something?
I didn't.
You didn't buy him anything?
See, there he goes.
Why did you not buy him
Because
something?
he didn't buy me one for my 40th.
I didn't know you were 40, dear.
That's all right. I'm 41, actually.
No one would believe you were a year under 45. Now, you could have... John,
What?
why did you not give Lord Andrew Lloyd Webber a copy of
I
your
wasn't-
autobiography for his birthday? Anything goes, a fabulous read, packed full of, let's face it, hijinks.
I can give him belated. I can. He probably, you know, listen, he's a busy man. He probably wouldn't have the time to read it.
He's in the book as well.
Can on the train.
Actually, he is in the book.
Yeah, I know, because he
Yeah.
told you off for playing the piano in an unusual way.
No, I don't
Tell us
think
this
he-
story. What were you doing on stage that caused
man.
Andrew Lloyd Webber? Let's face it, one of the most easygoing men. I mean, obviously he cares about his shows, but he's you know, we know you're relaxed, you're easygoing, and you had to tell this young whippersnapper off. What was he
Well,
doing?
it was a letter that I got from the Really Useful group that was signed by Andrew. Now, I don't know if he, did you excuse the pun, dictated it, but there was a part in the show in Sunset Boulevard where at the back of the set there was a piano. And Joe Gillis would do his sing the whole bit with the girl down there in the front, and then he'd mosey on in the back while she had another scene with Artie and a bunch of the other guests in a big ensemble number. And I used to go back to the piano, and I used to take my willy out and start hitting the piano with it and playing the piano. Now, I did this like every single show because it kept the morale of the company going, and the guy playing the piano would be in hysterics, and the
yeah, but
atmosphere
hold
of the
on.
party was
He had to go, you've had your cock all over it, and then he has to come out and play. He's sort of like,
yeah.
I'll give the black note to Miss if I were you, mate.
But there was the best bit was one day I'm coming for a matinee, you know, here I come, getting makeup on, get ready and go, and the letter's put down in front of me from the company manager, and so I pick it up and I open up, and it's from the Really Useful group, and it's Dear John. I would appreciate if you would not upstage the music or the show itself by releasing your private parts on stage, blah, 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 and letting the back of the stalls see it. All this kind of stuff. Signed, Andrew Lloyd Webber. I didn't do it from that point on.
Well, but then that's a great shame for those people who were telling their friends you want to go along.
Yeah,
a
but you
bloke-
couldn't... Listen, the one thing, any prank that's pulled on stage that anybody does, and I'm not condoning it, you never do it at the expense of an audience. No one in the audience would have seen that, because that would have been
You're
awful.
a showman, but you're a professional.
Yes, a professional showman.
And this is a guy who is judging Nancy's.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Now, here's the question which I have to ask you, of course, is I can't imagine our Saturday night schedules this time of year next year without a show of this sort on. But what would you do next time? Do you know? Are you discussing possibly doing something? Are you going to skip a year? What do we have planned for the year ahead?
I'll leave this
any
to the Lord.
Thank you.
Because what would you do next? Which other shows could you go for?
Well, listen, if they were to do another one... I still can't keep my mouth shut, can I?
Yeah, you're shocking.
Go on, you go on, go on.
I have to think that I'm not a television personality. I don't do these things. I always used to be terrified about doing chat shows and things like that, and particularly with people like you. And I don't really enjoy the whole thing that much, but I love working with the kids.
Yeah.
But I've got my own new show that I'm going to do next year.
I've heard about this.
Which is this sequel to The Phantom of the Opera.
Phantom of the
Probably
Opera
another one you
2.
didn't like.
Yes. No, don't start picking on me. Listen, you're not going to get the role. You're too good looking to be the Phantom.
No.
The Phantom of the Opera 2, and I know you haven't finished it yet, have you?
No, I'm halfway through it, so I might not even complete it.
Come on, it's in your blood. You must know, I'm sure, when you've nailed the big numbers.
Yes.
When you wrote The Phantom of the Opera is here, you must have thought, job done. That's the big one. That's the one they'll hum on the way out. I'll take a weekend off, right? OK, have you done that for Phantom 2 yet? Have you got the big show-stopping number nailed yet?
I've got half a dozen of them, yeah.
Wow. OK, so how many more do you have to do?
The thing is, it's the writing of the whole thing that takes the time.
Okay.
It's not the numbers, it's not the songs. I find them quite easy.
Really?
But it's the writing of the whole thing that takes the time.
OK, so how close are you to finishing that?
I reckon with a bit of luck, we might be on in London by November next year.
November
So
next year.
2009.
Now, on a totally different subject, let's have a look at something quite odd and quite unusual from John Barrowman's back catalogue. OK, Lord Webber, you might not have seen this. Because John Barrowman's a lovely fella, and as you know,
always
enthusiastic.
pull the shit out of the closet for me, don't you?
This is from a programme called Have I Been Here Before?
Oh,
it was a
my
series
God.
in which John Barrowman is regressed by there's a very strange woman who speaks in a very odd voice, who hypnotises people and makes them talk about people they think they were in the past. This is John Barrowman telling us what he was in a past life.
You inside or outside?
I'm inside.
And what are you inside of?
Tent.
What kind of tent?
Circus tent.
And how do you feel in the circus tent?
Happy.
Are you aware of having a physical body? What kind?
I'm a clown.
And how do you feel about being a clown?
Really good.
I'm a clown. What's funny?
I'm just I'm looking at myself in the mirror.
And how do you look?
I look very silly.
What are you wearing?
I'm wearing a striped red and white striped kind of punch, like like a parachute kind of outfit. My name's Oliver.
You're the best. Here's what the best is. You're a clown. You're in a tent in a circus. What are you wearing? What the fuck do you think I'm wearing? A clown outfit!
OK, you know, I know you came to this sort of TV performance late in your career and you weren't in telly, but you know what, I'm so thrilled you did because you're a natural and it's great to see you on that show every week because not only, obviously you know what you're talking about, but it's great fun to see you doing it as well. John, as always, you're just a waste of time. I don't know why you've got nothing to give people, nothing. Just a downbeat, miserable so-and-so.
That's all right. I'll give it to you later.
Great. Great to have you back on the show. The lovely John Barrowman, the fabulous Lord Andrew Lloyd Webber. Thank you, gentlemen. As always.
Good.
Thank you so much for coming again. Good work. As always, I'll see you outside. My thanks to all my guests tonight, John and Andrew, obviously, as well as Mark Wahlberg and Kirsty Young. Next week, my guest